For Off the Block, I'm Vinny Lopes, and we are now joined by Ball State men's volleyball head coach Joel Walton after his team took down another nationally ranked team. Coach, you're able to rally back from a tough loss in the first game in overtime, but beat George Mason in 4 games. How would you assess your team's performance tonight?
I think the first game we were figuring some things out about George Mason. They're a good team. They can serve tough. Their blockers make good moves and take away certain shots. And it took our attackers that first game to see and understand where their blockers were setting things up and what shots were available. And we made some adjustments. Connor Gross, our setter, did a nice job in games 2, 3, and 4, getting the ball to slightly different places in our offense and finding the opportunities that were being created by the schemes that George Mason was running defensively against us.
Yeah. And Coach, what do you think it says about your team's mentality that you do lose that tough overtime game in game 1, but you guys are able to bounce back, make some adjustments, and get the win?
This group of guys has experience playing together, and one of the players that is actually kind of a gel for our group or gives us a little bit of emotion is actually Matt Shevs, our freshman, and he's connected with Matt Walsh emotionally on the court, and he and Connor Gross have a connection as well, and that energy that they create, Matt Shevs, Matt Walsh, Connor Gross, is infectious for the rest of our team, and really pretty necessary because we've got some other guys, Mitch Weiler, Adam Wessel, Brendan Serrain, who are out on the court, who are a little bit quieter. So we've got a good balance of energy. We've got a good group of experienced players. They've been in these situations before, and they're not panicking. Even if we lose a game or two, they're still figuring out a way to work their way through matches.
Yeah, and Coach, I do want to ask you about your setter, Connor Gross, because this is his first year starting, and you look at the match tonight, it seemed like he was putting your hitters in really good situations to get kills. Have you been surprised with his level of play at the start of the season?
We're really not, because for the last 2 years, even though Connor hasn't started for us, our practices have been super competitive. And many of the days in practice, our second team would win drills or win games because Connor was doing such a good job setting that group. We felt like Iago was a little bit more experienced and ran our offense in a way that we wanted our team's offense to be run the last couple of years. But we knew Connor was a very good setter, and when he was given a chance to step on the court and run our team this season, he's really dominated, and he's been one of the X factors that makes whatever players we put on his side of the net better on that given day.
Yeah. And Coach, last season you were one of the best defensive teams in the nation. This year your defense is still there, but the offense has really picked up. What has been the biggest difference between your pin hitters this year compared to last year?
Well, we're year 2 with Ben Serrain playing over on the left side, and he's getting more and more comfortable attacking at the left antenna. We started there with Serrain last year, and it just became better for our team to move him to the right side last year. So we started him as a passer and then finished the season with him just attacking at the right antenna. And this year with Matt Shevs coming in, we knew we wanted Shevs out on the court. So that really has forced Serrain over to that left side, and it means he's got to be one of our primary passers and serve receive. And Serrain has improved his passing, has improved his attacking at the left antenna. Shevs requires teams to scheme toward as well. I mean, he's somebody that demands your respect. He's capable of putting up a good number of kills. And Matt Walsh's play this year has also come along to the point that we see schemes from just about every team that we're playing against to try to slow down or stop Matt Walsh. And so when we're passing balls up to the net, teams are throwing sometimes 1 and 2 blockers his direction. So it's kind of the culmination of all that. And if you look at Mitch Weiler, Mitch has had a number of matches where he's either leading us in kills or he's second in kills, and he's hitting a really high efficiency. And again, it's all of those guys working together and pulling the block in different directions, keeping the block and the other team's defense off balance that are allowing our offense to be more successful.
Yeah. Well, Coach, one final question before we let you go. You're 7-1 right now. A week from now, you have a match against Ohio State, but I know you don't want to talk about that because you have NJIT coming up next. So just, what do you tell your team to get ready for that NJIT match?
Well, Jabari Goodrich is one of the best attackers in the country. He's a great left side attacker, very athletic, hits at a high point, hits a lot of shots. So we better make sure that we're ready to slow him down, and then we're also ready for the rest of the team because NJIT is a very capable, physical, and athletic team. There just aren't nights off in men's volleyball. And part of that is because of the number of exceptional athletes that are playing our sport at the collegiate level. The other part of it is with 25-point rally scoring, it's difficult to open up scoring gaps. And then, we're playing a game where you can win a game big, but then you've got to start over and earn points again in the very next set, and you've got to win 3 sets to win a match. So we can't afford to look past NJIT. The guys have to stay focused. They need to continue to step on the court with purpose, play with a lot of intensity and energy. And maybe I just hope that you don't get Ohio State so stirred up that they come in pissed off at us next week and get after it, because Ohio State is a very good team, and there's a lot of history between our two programs. And for sure, we'll be ready when next week comes, but we've got to get past Midget first.